Hey, welcome back to Getting Money Through Short-Term Rentals. I'm your girl, Venetia Brown, your short-term rental plug. All right, so in this module, we're going to be talking about limiting your exposure, right? Nobody wants to be sued. I know I don't. And I've been talking about this since the beginning, about how to be structured. So we're going to go into detail on how you limit the exposure to somebody just... What word I want to use? Somebody actually trying to play with you. All right, so I had a guest, right? She booked last minute. She booked for like a month or whatever. And she's like, I'm getting ready to have a baby, but this previous Airbnb that I was at, it was dirty and it's not safe for my other two children that I have. I just really need to get out of this place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, of course, absolutely. We have a guest that's checking out today. We can go ahead and get it cleaned up and go ahead and get you and your family in there. I'm making the accommodations and everything. Sis gets in there, 24 hours go by. I get a request or a message from Airbnb like, your guest has filed an insurance claim. But they've been texting me all day. I think she had wanted like a light bulb or something changed. And I'm like, they've been contacting me all day. Why all of a sudden is Airbnb contacting me? Like, what's going on? You know, this girl made a claim that she fell in the house and she was 9 months pregnant at the time. She fell and blood was everywhere and she hurt herself. Our property was unsafe. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, I hope she's okay. I'm literally jumping to the, you know what I mean? Making sure she's okay. I go look on the Ring doorbell. Sis is walking out with a basket and her little one. She don't look like she just fell to me. Like, what? So I messaged the guest and I'm like, hey, I got a call from Airbnb saying that the property is unsafe or, you hurt yourself. I hope that you're okay. Of course, at this point, I didn't, call her a liar, but I was just like, okay, well, I hope that you're okay. And I purposely wrote her and was like, were you rushed to the hospital? Are you okay? And she's like, yes, I was rushed to the hospital. And, she laid it on real thick. You know what I mean? She laid it on real thick. But I purposely asked that because I had the Ring doorbell. Long story short, she made an insurance claim, but because I had these processes and I had these insurances in place, she really couldn't do nothing with us. So in this module, we're going to go over how to protect yourself from guests who really actually try to play you, or guests who, maybe they may come in and destroy something and maybe they really weren't trying to play you, but they just were very negligent or just terrible guests. All right. First things first, insurance, short-term rental insurance, not renter's insurance. All right, I'm going to say that again. Short-term rental insurance, not renter's insurance. Do not go on Lemonade or eRenters and go get insurance and think this is going to cover your business. When you do these insurance policies, these are private policies. These are for your personal belongings that it covers. So when you're running a short-term rental business and something happens to the property, you're actually not covered. So you keep trying to be cheap and pay that $10 through Lemonade, you're really going to cost yourself in the long run because it's not going to be covered. The proper insurance is through Proper. Look at that. So, all right. So the company name is Proper for short-term rental coverage. Now, Proper is set up in a couple ways, right? Proper has their sister company, Wavo. They actually cover expenses up to a certain dollar amount. And then Proper picks up that expense from that dollar amount to the highest. So Wavo will cover, your smaller expenses under, I believe, maybe $1,500 or $2,000. So that's like your couches, maybe somebody, broke the TV or broke whatever in the house, whatever they broke. Wavo will cover that. Proper will actually cover the structure of your property. So say somebody did some ridiculous crap. They had a party and somebody put a hole in your wall. Proper is going to cover that. But I promise you, eRenters and Lemonade don't cover that. So again, short-term rental insurance versus actual renter's insurance. There are two separate things. And on the policy, actually, on the personal renter's insurance, you actually put your name. So it has to be your personal property. And if they find out you're running a business, you just been paying your little $10 every month for no reason. All right? So now, again, back to having an entity. Don't run anything in your personal name. Because say, like the example that I gave where I had the guest that came and fell and, say she wanted to sue me, but I did everything in my personal name. Guess what? She was going to sue me in everything that I was attached to. There goes everything. So do this stuff in your business name. Make sure it's an entity. Make sure you're protected. We talked about E&O insurance, right? E&O insurance is business insurance. You're insuring the actual LLC itself. You're insuring the corporation, the entity itself, not the physical place, not, the things that are in it. You're insuring the business, how you run it, those type of things, right? You're insuring the fact that maybe you forgot to tell somebody something, or maybe one of your disclaimers, maybe the wording was like, a little shaky. So it could be interpreted any type of way. So it's really not nobody's fault, but due to the fact that it's open to interpretation, E&O covers those things. Most importantly is going to be your contracts between all parties and your disclosures and your disclaimers. People will love to tell you what you didn't tell them, or I didn't sign no contract, or whatever it is. They're going to try to find a way out of it. So if you have somebody coming to stay in your unit, say they want to come stay for 2 months, right? Here's a little nugget. I'm about to give y'all some game. And, I'm going to give it to y'all. Do not let anybody stay in your unit for more than 29 days at a time. Yes, they can stay, but on paper, you should have leases of 29 days each. Because remember what I said, right? After 30 days, they now become a tenant. So they can stay for 60 days, but you need to have 3 separate leases, maxing out at 29 days. So if anything happens, you can pull the plug quickly. You don't have to worry about trying to evict them and get them out because, they're staying here. I think I seen on IG where this girl had went out of town and she had rented her room. She had rented a room or rented the house to somebody like while she was gone for like a month or whatever. Well, guess what? They still live together because that tenant ain't never leave because she did 30 days. She never left. She had the video up on IG and the girl was walking in the refrigerator and she didn't care because she knew her rights. She knew her rights. She knew the fact that after 30 days, she's now a tenant. Now you have to evict me. So don't get caught up in that. Like, don't be one of those people that end up making your business stagnant because you didn't have the proper insurances in place. You didn't have the proper contracts in place. You didn't give the right disclaimers and disclosures. So now your guest was able to have one up on you and they ultimately played you. Don't be that person, all right? Lastly, make sure the lease is in the business name. I'm really, really, really going to hone in on this. I'm begging you. Please make sure the lease is in the business name. It is literally the only thing that is going to protect you. When you do it in your personal name, I'm going to say this again. I know I sound like a broken record, but you're already in violation of your lease. You're not protected. It's not a business. Make sure the lease is in the business name. You do some corporate leasing. All right. Let's recap everything that we went over in this module. We talked about the insurances and the differences of them. Short-term rental insurance versus renter's insurance. We talked about making sure you have an entity, not a DBA, and not your personal. We talked about making sure you have insurance on the actual business and the entity itself. Making sure you have contracts. I don't know how many times I can reiterate this. Make sure your leases are not longer than 29 days at a time. Take the extra time to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 leases. Don't get lazy and just be like, well, they're coming for 6 months. I don't want to do 7 leases. well, I hope you want to do the eviction process too then, because if you don't listen, then that's what's going to happen. All right? But I'm your girl, Venetia Brown. You can find me on all social media platforms. So don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, as Venetia Brown. Click the link in my bio. Check out my book. And I'm going to see you in the next module, all right? And we're going to talk about creating this team.